Yeah, there's kind of really ambient music and pulsing. And you...
Everything I needed for my suicide was in my backpack, but I dropped in at a supermarket to buy various things just in case. All I need is a tiny shelter, built using the existing trees.
How did you come across the story of this man who starves himself to death deliberately?
My first encounter with this story was a CD. Actually, it was recorded in Austria. It was a kind of a performance by Japanese musicians and Austrian artists. And so when I heard this radio play, in a way, I was struck and I was under permanent tension. So then I went on and I wanted to know more about it. That's how I encountered the whole thing.
What in particular drew you to this story?
It's hard to explain because it's in a way it's frightening. It's a horrible story in one way. On the other hand, I felt intuitively it's a very strong story about life also. And so there was a mystery, kind of secret I did not find out. So I decided to make a film to find out this secret.
Day 17. In the evening, I could hear the sound of insects. I'm not alone. The only sound coming from the radio is like the buzzing of a mosquito. There are 3 candles left.
How much of a challenge was it for you to make a feature-length film on this story, given the materials you started with, which is basically a written text, I believe?
Yes. Yeah, there were several challenges to do this film. The first thing was it was my very first film for which I used a foreign text, because normally I write the voiceover myself for the texts. It's based on a novel by a Japanese writer. And it's a lot of text, and I wanted to keep it as long as possible. So it's like 3 tracks on an equal level. It's the language, it's this text, it's the music, because it's a very musical concept of the whole thing, and of course it's the image. And the other very strong challenge was to shoot a feature-length movie on a few square meters of forest, nothing else.
How would you categorize the film, given that it's a documentary that's largely based on a novel?
If you ask me, I wouldn't have a category. I'm not so much interested in categories, not even concerning films. But normally I'm invited to documentary festivals, but also it happens that I'm invited to fiction festivals. So it's maybe also... The reason is also the source of the film. Like it's based on a true story. That's written at the end of the novel. So the novel is based on a true story, which was found in Tokyo somewhere in the last century, based on a criminal report. And then the novelist made a novel out of it. And so I bring it back to a kind of documentary level. So what is it? But I'm not so much interested in reality concerning cinema.